in USA. Okay, so he was actually doing his doctoral dissertation. He was studying the human beings and their moral behavior. So he was doing a research, and during his research, he did the study on 72 boys whom he chose from Chicago. And the ages of these boys range from 10 to 16 years of age. That is that age when the moral values of the students actually develop, and they mostly belong to the middle and the lower class families. And he presented them with the moral dilemmas, and he wanted the reason that uh, why the particular what were the reasons that the students gave when they're given a particular situation. Like he had given this particular situation of the Heinz case to them. So when the Heinz case was given to them, he asked them that was it a very good decision taken by Mr. Heinz that he stole the medicine, or he should have followed the moral values. So that was actually the main theme. He wanted to understand how the morality develops in a child. So as you all know that the story is about a woman who was staying in Europe with a husband whose name was Heinz, and she was actually suffering from cancer. So it was a very peculiar type of a cancer. So what was happened? Mr. Heinz went to the shop and he wanted to purchase the medicine, but because the pharmacist had discovered the medicine, he wanted to make money from it. So instead of giving the medicine at the normal cost, what did he do? He increased the price 10 times because he wanted to make money. And it was not possible for Heinz to purchase the medicine at that particular cost. So what did he do? Because instead of letting his wife die, he thought it is better to not follow the moral values, but instead he tried to steal the drug. And so he broke open the shop and he stole the drug. So now Mr. Heinz stole the drug and went and gave it to his wife. So now it was Mr. Kohlberg who was actually doing the study on his students. So he asked his students various questions related to this particular story that he had given to the students. So he asked the students that was it very correct that Heinz stole the drug? Okay, so this was the first question. That should Heinz have stolen the drug? The second question was asked that would it change anything if Heinz did not love his wife? Okay, because Heinz had loved his wife, that is why he stole the drug. If he did not love his wife, would he have stolen the drug? So this was the second question which Kohlberg asked. Then thirdly asked, what if the person dying was a stranger? Okay, if the wife was not dying, but the stranger was dying, would Mr. Heinz do the same thing? Maybe he will not steal the drug because he is not concerned for the stranger. Fourthly, should the police arrest the chemist because of the murder of the wife? If the woman died because she did not get the medicine, what it right for the police to arrest the chemist? So these are the various questions that Kohlberg actually asked, and he did not wait for the answers. He wanted to know the reason. Whatever answer the students gave, he wanted to know the reason behind those answers. So this was the question and that he asked his students. So from these questions, he actually gathered his theory of moral reasoning. So it is having how many levels? How many levels does this have? Slide is visible, no?
Mom, three levels.
Yeah, three levels.
Three
Yeah,
levels, six
yes,
stages.
yes. It is having three levels, and each level is actually divided into two stages. So level one is pre-conventional morality. In this you have the stage one, that is punishment, avoidance, and obedience. Stage two consists of individualism and exchange. Level 2 consists of conventional morality. It is also having two stages. Stage 3, that is good interpersonal relationship, and stage 4, that is law and order. Then level number 3, you have post conventional morality. In this, you have stage 5, that is social contract, and stage number 6, that is universal ethical principle. So, what is happening over here? That in the first one, that is level 1, pre-conventional morality is the earliest period of moral development, because these were the students, or you can say the children, who were lying between the ages of 9 to 16. So when the child is actually very small, he is actually developing his moral values. So at this stage, the children's decisions are primarily shaped by the expectations of adults and consequences of breaking the rules. Okay, so the child knows that if he breaks the rule, he will be punished for that. So this is the first stage. where his moral development is taking place. He is learning what is right and what is wrong. And if he breaks the rule, he will be punished for that. So you can take the example that if an action leads to punishment, the child will try to avoid it. And he will be rewarded if he acts in the correct manner. So this is the first level, that is pre-conventional morality. So if you can understand from stage number 1, that is obedience and punishment orientation. What does it mean then? See, pre-conventional morality is meaning what? That the child is learning the moral values and he knows that if he does something wrong, he will be punished for it. And if he works according whatever the adult is telling him, if he's working according to it, he will not be punished for it. He will be rewarded for it. Okay, so he is learning the moral values. So the stage number 1 is about obedience and punishment orientation. So obedience means what? That if the child obeys the elder person, he is going to avoid the punishment. And if the person is punished, that means he has done something wrong. That is why he has been punished. So that is stage number 1, that is obedience and punishment orientation. Is it clear? Is stage number 1 clear? It is the easiest one. Okay, so if you're obeying the rules, you will not be punished. That is stage number 1. Now, stage number 2, individualism and exchange. At this stage, children recognize that there is not just one right view that is handed down by the authorities. Different individuals will have different viewpoints. So, in this particular stage, the child is learning that you will not have only one right view. Every individual will have a different viewpoint for what is right and what is wrong. Like Mr. Hines, he's told because at that particular point of time, he thought that stealing the drug is right for him. Okay, so that is why every person will differ in his view of right and wrong. So child is learning this in this particular stage. At this stage, what is happening? Individualism and exchange is happening. So the child recognizes that there is not just one right view. Authorities or the higher elders are telling that this is right and this is wrong, but you cannot tell that एक ही सही चीज है. There can be various right views depending on the individual. That is why it is individualism and exchange. Is stage number 2 clear? Is stage 2 clear? See, the first stage is telling what? That whatever the moral values are, if you're going to obey it, you're not going to get punished. So the child is the very young at this stage, so he obeys whatever is being told to him, so that he can avoid the punishment. In the second stage, he is learning that as an individual, you will be having your own views also. Whatever the authority has told you that this is right and this is wrong, it is not always possible. Every individual will have their own view of right and wrong. So right and wrong is depending on the individual. So that is stage number 2. Now you have level 2, that is conventional morality. And this is the second stage. Okay, and it's characterized by an acceptance of social rules concerning right and wrong. So as a child, now the child has now accepted that these are the social rules which the society is actually treating, that this particular rule is right and this particular rule is wrong. So you're accepting the social rules. Whatever the society has said, you're accepting those rules. Now the reasoning is based on the norms of the group. Okay, if the group is saying this is right, or the society, okay, the society is saying this particular thing is right, that means it is right. If the society is saying that is wrong, that means it is wrong. So it has stage number 3. That is good interpersonal relationships. So in this particular stage, the child or the person is trying to behave in a good manner. He wants to be depicted that he is a good person. He wants to have good interpersonal relationships with everybody. So he wants that the other person thinks that he is a good person. In the same way, the child or the individual is good in order to be seen as being a good person by others. I want to show to other people that I am a good person. So he tries to behave in a good way with everybody. So if you remember, we talked about a good boy or bad boy. Okay, a good boy or good girl image. Everybody wants to set up a good boy or good girl image over here because he wants to show that I am a good person to the other people. So therefore, the answers relate to the approval of others. When you want to show that you are a good person to the others, then you want that your answers are actually matching with the answers of the others. सारे जो लोग हैं उन मेरे आंसर को अप्रूव करें, then only I'll be shown as a good person to the others. So that is good interpersonal relationship. And then stage number 4, maintaining the social order. So the child or the individual becomes aware of the wider rules of the society. So judgment concern obeying the rules in order to uphold the law and to avoid guilt. So in this particular stage, he is aware that the society is having these particular rules. And whatever the society is doing, so he has to obey the rules of the society so that he is not found guilty. So he is maintaining the social order. So this is stage number 4. See, in stage number 3, what is he doing? He is trying to show to the other people that he is a good person. So whatever decision, whatever reasoning he is doing, he is trying to show that he is trying to get approval of the others so that he shows himself to be a good person. He wants to maintain good interpersonal relationships. In stage number 4, what is happening? He is maintaining the rules have been set by the society. He is trying to maintain that so that the judgment is actually by obeying the rules of the society. Then your level number 3, that is post-conventional morality. So the post-conventional morality is the third stage of moral development and is characterized by an individual's understanding of universal ethical principles. So over here, we're talking about universal ethical principles. So it includes the preservation of life at all cost and the importance of human dignity. Okay, so over here, what you're doing, you're trying to preserve the life at any cost. Maybe it is right, maybe it is wrong. You're not waiting for that. In this particular pre-conventional morality, you are trying to preserve the life at all the costs. So individual judgment is based on self-chosen principles. Whatever judgment you're doing, you have made your own principles and you have thought that this is right or this is wrong, and then only you're taking a judgment. And moral reasoning is based on individual rights and justice. Whatever your moral reasoning is, it is based on individual right and justice. As an individual, if you're thinking this is right, I'm doing the right thing, you will do it. You will not wait and see if the society is treating you is that right or wrong. But the decision is totally individualistic. You're thinking this particular thing is right, you will take the decision. So stage number 5, social contract and individual rights. The child or the individual becomes aware that while rules, laws might exist for the good of the greatest number, there are times when they will work against the interest of particular individuals. Okay, so over here what is happening? That the child is becoming aware that rules have been made and it has been made for the good of the society. Okay, but many a times what will happen? It is working against the individual interest. It is not in favor of the individual. So the child will understand that. So the issues are not always clear cut. For example, if you see Mr. Heinz' dilemma, is actually, if he had thought about the society's rules, he would have not stolen the drug. But his priority was to save his wife. That is why he went against the society rules and stole the drug for protecting the life of his wife. So he thought that breaking the law was good for him and he stole the drug. Now we have stage number 6, which is actually telling about the universal principles. The people at the stage have developed their own set of moral guidelines which may or may not fit the law. So the principles apply to everyone. So example, human rights, justice and equality. The person will be prepared to act to defend these principles even if it means going against the rest of the society in the process and having to pay the consequences of disreputable or imprisonment. So over here what is happening, that you are having moral guidelines, but the principles are actually applying to everyone. But if it is not fitting as an individual, it is against you, you're ready for the consequences. You are ready to go to the prison, but you are acting against the law so that you are able to save, or it is for your personal benefit. That is why Mr. Heinz knew that he was stealing. He knew that he is doing something wrong. But to save his wife, it appeared correct for him. And he stole the drug and he was ready for imprisonment. So that is, universal principles are set. Okay, you have the moral guidelines, which may not be fitting the law. But if it is fitting you, you are ready for the consequences and you will be doing accordingly what you wish to do. So this was level number 3. So these are three levels. Did you get the levels?